Right, part two of our Indian Ocean crossing from Cocos, Keeling to Rodrigues, about 3,800 odd kilometers. And yeah, definitely the Indian Ocean didn't disappoint. It has a reputation of being the toughest ocean to cross, and it did not disappoint. Here's some footage from an Indian Ocean crossing. And we left, I don't know why, but we left this beautiful anchorage at Cocos, Keeling. Photos thanks to Sean from Kismet on his drone. So we had three choices to cross this mighty ocean. The first was to go all the way to Mauritius, if all went well. Second choice, which we eventually took, was to go to Rodrigues, which is the blue line. And if things really got nasty and we had to turn and run with the wind, we would have gone up to Swells, which is the yellow line. Good morning. Day 2. Easy to remember because it's the 2nd of September of our passage to Rodrigues or Mauritius, not sure yet. Nice evening. The sails behaved. Held course well. We had about 17 to 21 knots all the time, so a good evening, and expecting much the same today. And then tomorrow the big winds start, so we'll buckle down later today and get ready for the big winds. But otherwise all good here on Viento del Mar. It is just after 6 in the morning and you can see the sun is coming up in the background. Excuse all the washing. Things get damp out here, you've got to wash and dry. Alright, it's day 2, passage to Mauritius. Cheers, it's
Cheers.
Cappies and Coke.
Cappies and Coke.
Forgot to put beer in the fridge, so it's Cappies and Coke tonight. And we've got a magnificent, we've just had some of the chicken pot. And we've got a magnificent sunset going on, look at that. Awesome. End of a good day, getting ready for the big wind. Just to really screw us around. Got this bloody small storm in front of us, which we're trying to go around the back of it. We can see it on the radar. It is moving from left to right, so we're trying to go around it. Wednesday, 4th of September. And we are still in a messy sea. We got 25 knots, gusting 32, and the sea is just all over the place. So it's rock and roll, proper rock and roll. I'll give you some idea. I'll stick the camera over the top, give you an idea of how much we're rolling. So the weather reason for the all this rough season being slept around, you could see Viento del Mar was in the middle of a patch of about 30 knots of wind, and the confounding factor is that the big waves from deep from the Southern Ocean, from Antarctica, roll all the way up to where we were. So you're getting these big waves from the Southern Ocean mixing with the wind waves, and it just makes for a hell of a messy washing machine type sea. And we're going into our 5th evening. But yeah, we're in the teeth of the South Indian high pressure system. It's bombing 30 knots at us consistently. You can see through the back here how the boat's rocking and rolling. And yeah, it's hold on tight stuff. And we are moving forward well. We've got the engine running just to charge the batteries for the night. Other than that, we've been going 7, 8, 9, even 10 knots just on a 3rd reef mainsail and a small jib into the night. And good morning, it's day 5 or 6, not sure, on the Indian Ocean. And we've just come through a rather rough night again. The sea might look pleasant, but trust me, it's got a big bump on it. And last night, I'll show you. Last night, on that side over there, a wave came smashing through. It smashed right through that clear, that protective plastic. It just flattened it, came washing into the cockpit. And you can see here, we still got towels and everything's wet. The wave went through the clear, through the saloon door, into the saloon. And I was mopping up inside the under the tables and in the galley, the kitchen. So big wave, pooped us. They say pooped us means it's washed right over us. This one didn't go over us; it just came straight through. So yeah, we're getting a bit tired of this lot now, and I think conditions ease a bit from today. Let's hope. Anyway, not all bad. Good morning, and we are making way. Sorry, one more thing for my morning update. You can see how much we're respecting the conditions. Look at the jib, how it's rolled up. We've got very little jib out. It's rolled up probably half. You can see normally the sail would be right down at the bottom onto the furler at the bottom. So that section there is what's furled up. Yeah. Respect for Mother Nature, King Neptune, and his ocean. Good morning. It's the 7th of September, day 7 or 8 passage, and we've got some visitors, some early morning dolphins. You can see them, they're in the bow wave where they always like to play. Let's have a look. Oh, there we go. Just see them, a small dolphin, not sure what kind. Last of the sun for today, 7th of September. There it goes. Some afternoon sun. Woo, big rock and roll there. Yeah, I think in this yachting life you get a lot of sun, but you actually don't. You're always trying to hide from the sun. So getting my daily dose of vitamin D, vitamin C, SEA. Yeah, but it's fairly pleasant, and we are still rocking and rolling across the Indian Ocean. So a little bit of footage just to show you early morning. First thing we do is shake a reef in the sail. In other words, we take the sail up higher up and make it bigger after reducing it for the night. So here I am just opening up the clear, then my walk of faith across the coach roof along the top deck, and to go and check that or release the third reef line so that we can wind it up. And there it is, the third reef. Have a look, just check where the sail is, and then back to the cockpit and morning exercise, winding up the mainsail. It gets a bit of sweat on the brow. Here you can see it going up. Sail is pretty loose, so it's leaning against the shrouds. I haven't tightened it up yet, and crank it away. Yeah, sailing requires a certain amount of fitness and strength. So back to the mast, walk of faith across the rooftop again, and secure the third reef line. Just tighten it and cleat it off. And then back, secure, tidy up the lines. Tidy sailor is a good sailor. And then check up, and the sail looks pretty good shape there. Nice little wing shape to it. Back to the cockpit. Now it's time to sort out the jib sheet. The jib is the front sail, and this is the hairy part. You've got to lean over the side and untie it off the midship cleat. So catamarans, you can take the jib sheet out wide. You can tie it off on the outside of the boat because of the catamaran's width. And we use that to get the jib out wider, catch more wind when we're going downwind. Anyway, so there I'm leaning over the side. I've adjusted it and retighten it. That's probably the biggest risky area of going overboard, is leaning over to do the jib sheet on the midship cleat. Anyway, back to the cockpit. Russell has been watching the instruments, checking our course while I was busy on deck. And fine-tune the jib, just let it out a little bit so that the other sheet, the one on the outside, can take effect. And checking on the course, and shed the life jacket. Always a relief to get the life jacket off, as important as it is. And then Russell and I discuss the course and check that we got everything right, and then settle down again. So what do you do when you in the middle of the big blue desert? You get bored and you get hold of the GoPro camera, put it on a long pole, get some footage around the boat. Morning. The 11th of September, I think day about 11 of our crossing. We've bitten off a large chunk of the crossing, and we've got about 350 nautical miles to go, about two and a bit days. So yeah, just come off my night watch. It was not a bad one. We had fair winds, 20 knots the whole night, and a little rope hanging in front of my face here. And yeah, sea is still a rolly. You can see it's just a rolly. Doesn't look that big, but it's, yeah, we're rolling all over the place. The Indian Ocean, it's not disappointing. Anyway, that's the end of my night watch. Coming up, and another day dawns. And it's just after 4 in the morning. Just come on to night watch on the 13th of September. Hopefully it'll be a good day. It's our last full day at sea on our way to Rodriguez from Cocos, Keeling, crossing the Indian Ocean. So you can hear in the background, I think you can hear the motors running. So we've run out of wind, which we expected. The last day will be mostly motoring. So we run 2 hours on one motor, 2 hours on the other motor. We run the motors at about 1,800 revs, which gives us about 5 knots, which is what we require for our remainder of our journey to get there at 7 o'clock on Saturday morning in Port Maturin, Rodriguez. So yeah, 2 hours per motor. And we still got the mainsail up just to give a little bit of catch any wind there is. But roll the jib up. The jib just flutters around, flogs, because the engines are creating wind and taking the wind away from the jib. And that's the story from here in middle of Boggerall. Chat later. Whew. Little gym session done. Online gym that I do with the Jerieski's back in South Africa. Nice to get a little session done. The sea is calm enough today that I could do it, otherwise there's no way to just get thrown around. It's a core workout here anyway, but I'll have to get a bit extra done. So last day before we get to Rodriguez, but it's a nice day. It's a sailing day. We got about 12-15 knots coming from just after the beam, in other words about 110 degrees, and that's given us a nice sail shape. So I'm no expert on sail trim, but I think I got it pretty good here. You can see this hollow, the biggest concave part of the sail is in the front third. You don't want that hollow to be further back, because then you haven't got this. You want this wing shape of the sail. You can see the battens have got a nice wing shape, so the airflow is like a wing of an airplane over it, and you can see the telltales at the back are sort of are flying quite nicely, especially the top ones. It's quite difficult to get the top ones to fly trimmed properly. So yeah, happy with the mainsail. I'll show you the jib. Before I show you the jib, more importantly, fishing rods are out. You can see the rod has got a nice sort of bend to it, so the lure is not pulling on it too hard. Lure is not swimming too deep, so that is fishing rod trim. yeah. And there's the jib flying, also quite a nice shape, good sort of wing shape to it. You can just see the telltales over there flying nicely. All right, so they're horizontal, and that's what you want. And then the one higher up also flying quite nice. Yeah, the jib's in good shape. And overall, we've got our sails well balanced. That's what you want. If it's not well balanced, you get weather helm. In other words, the boat keeps pulling to one side, and the rudders get overworked, and everything gets overworked, and the skipper gets overworked. So sail trim is what it's all about. It's day 13, crossing the main part of the Indian Ocean. And yeah, as I do when almost completed an ocean crossing, we arrive tomorrow morning early at Rodriguez Island, so that's the majority of the Indian Ocean done. And yeah, it's just a little tribute to the old girl. She's done us well again. She's hammered it through some massive waves, been beaten left and right. And here we are coming up to Rodriguez. It's most of the Indian Ocean behind us, probably the toughest part by far of the whole around the big rock planet thing. So well done, girl. And yeah, yesterday I got a bit emotional, standing in the galley looking out the front window, and yeah, a little tear to the eye as I took it all in of what this boat has done. It's been unbelievable. Full trust in me. Alright, Rodriguez, let's go. Rodriguez just over the horizon there somewhere. Sunset. We just got a night ahead of us, and Rodriguez just over there. There you go. Cheers.
Cheers. One more night.
One more night at sea, and then we've conquered the majority of the Indian Ocean. Last dinner, so we got a spaghetti bolognese a la Russell, and the last of our Australian beer, some Great Northern going down, and yeah, the old Sunset beer. And the sun going down on our last day, crossing the big part of the Indian Ocean, and it's a beautiful sunset. Look at that. Difficult to keep the camera still, and yes, got it. So the green flash, a lot of people don't believe it exists, but they just saw it. It's as the sun goes through the last layer of atmosphere, it gives that green flash, difficult to get. And there it is, Rodriguez Island. Rodriguez Island. And we're coming in hot. We're on the third reef on the mainsail, a lot of jib rolled up, and we're still doing 6 or 7 knots. Wind is blowing about 20-25 knots out there. Yeah, as you can see, we are headed in towards where that anchor sign is, and into the little harbour there down the little red channel. Maturin Bay. Here we come. So I think it's about 5 in the morning, and here we are. It is Port Maturin. Now our issue here is we can only go into the port at the earliest at 7 a.m. So we're going to have to hang around outside here, up and down here, until about just before 7, so we can go into the outer bay here, and then down that little channel into the harbour. You can see that that's the channel there, and we're only allowed in there after 7. I think we got a radio in first. So yeah, up and down the outside we go. Luckily it's in the lee of the island, you know, there was protected from the wind, and it is fairly calm out here, but there's still 20 knots of wind blowing, but the sea is okay. Alright, probably can't hear through all the wind noise, but that's first view of Rodriguez. It's about, as I say, about 5 in the morning, and the island is still asleep, and here we come. Got to get into the harbour. I think you can see, there we go, you can see the lights flashing red and green for the harbour. That's our target. Rodriguez, Indian Ocean. Got most of you. So that's Rodriguez Island. It's about 20 kilometers long and 10 kilometers wide, and about 40,000 people live in it apparently. And it's completely, you can see the green around it, it's completely surrounded by reef. So the only gap through the little reef is into the harbour at the top there, where we looking to go in. Other than that, it's well protected by reef. Bit of an odd one. All the words are in French, but the island itself, Rodriguez, I think it's Portuguese. And yeah, it's a bit of a mix of cultures there, I think. So we're just standing by. Coast Guard is contacting the harbour master, I think, and then they'll give us instructions to come in. So we're just up and down on the outside here. That is Rodriguez, what the locals, it sounds like the Coast Guard say, Roderick, not Rodriguez. Okay, we've got permission to enter the harbour, so we're heading for the channel. There you can see the channel there, and down into the harbour. Into the channel. That's the starboard marker buoy. There's reef close by, so got my attention. And straight down the channel here, we'll tie up in there. That's Rodrigue Town there, down there. Right, just docked up here at Port Maturin at the jetty. Those guys over there kindly came and helped us, and here we are, Port Maturin. Not allowed ashore yet. First got to do customs and immigration. Our yellow Q flag is up to show that we are requesting pratique. We are asking for services to enter their country. Okay, just stepped off the boat, and we are walking to immigration, and it's the first time on land in 2 weeks, and I can tell you the land is rolling around. It is going left and right, and I cannot walk straight. But it's the weirdest feeling to be on solid land. All right, we are cleared in and checked in, and we've had probably every person in Rodriguez come and check our boat out. What a process. But they were super efficient, super quick, and they were ready when we arrived. So we are now checked in. We have done one of the toughest passages, I think, ocean crossings that can be done, and it was tough. So in celebration, it's too early, it's only 9 in the morning, can't have a passage beer. What I can do is Russell's going to have a little shot of rum, and I'm going to have some rum with my cornflakes, so that we don't miss out on a passage drink. And here we go. Well done, Russell. Thank you. Good passage.
Thank you. It's fun.
We are here. Rodriguez.